Okay.
All right, so we're going to go over really quick settings on the HT70 ventilator. Now, we want to turn the power on the back. Obviously, the patient is intubated. Make sure you're going through some type of post-intubation checklist, and getting the tube secured, getting started on your fentanyl, your propofol, whatever it is that you're going to be doing for post-intubation sedation. Head to bed at 30 degrees, all those things. And this takes about 20 to 30 seconds to load up. Make sure you're bagging the patient. And once it's turned on, I'll show you the initial settings. There's a lot of different modes of ventilation you can do. We will use the AC/VC mode, assist control, volume control mode, mostly because that is what the ARTSNet.org did all their studies from in the late 90s or early 2000s. If you are more comfortable with SIMV or whatever, feel free to do that. So let me show you how to do that. And so right when it turns on, it's going to go to the main screen. Already it is set up in the assist control, volume control mode. Let's say it's on SIMV or spontaneous breathing. You just keep hitting this button until it goes to the ACMV mode. And make sure you hit accept. If you don't, it'll just go back to whatever it was a few minutes afterwards. And you can either do volume control or pressure control. Make sure it's on the volume control, hit the accept button. Now we have 4 different parameters when it comes to AC/VC mode. The first is the tidal volume. The tidal volume is for lung protection. For most part, we like it between 6 to 8 milliliters per kilogram based off your ideal body weight. Doesn't matter how big the patient is, just how tall. You can measure the patient if you want. There's a lot of different charts out there. We have one on this ventilator that has a chart based off male, female, and their height for their tidal volume. There's plenty of these on the internet. You can look it up. I'm pretty sure there's probably an app for it. And you're going to base it between that 8 and 6 milliliters per kilogram. Once that's set, then you're going to leave it there. There's only one time you would ever really want to change that. So that's great. So for me, I'm 6'3". If I look that up, about pretty much half a liter or 500 milliliters or 0.5 liters as it's set right here is totally fine. The next is going to be your respiratory rate. Now just something super quick is these control your breathing, which means they control your CO2, so keep that in mind. Respiratory rate, you can actually breathe around 16. Your patient might be breathing 30, so find somewhere in between there. I usually, when I set it to as close as I can to what they're breathing. If they're breathing 30 breaths per minute, maybe I'll set them at 26 or something like that. And you're going to be getting an ABG in 15-20 minutes and adjust that CO2, your respiratory rate, up or down depending on what you want that CO2 to be. So go ahead, get it where you want. So maybe this patient's breathing 24, so I'll just set them up to 20, whatever. Doesn't matter, really, but you do need to adjust that quickly. You don't want a patient who's breathing 40 breaths per minute, you set them at 12, and now they're paralyzed because you just gave them succinylcholine. They don't breathe for 45 minutes, and they slowly get worsening and worsening acidosis, and then they go into cardiac arrest. So don't set it and forget about it. Get as close as you can to what they're compensating for already, and then move on. So far, AC/VC, the tidal volume, set it off the chart, respiratory rate, kind of what they're already breathing. That's not what we recommend for COPD patients. We recommend a lower respiratory rate, but we'll talk about that. Now we're going to talk about what controls your oxygen, and that's going to be the amount of fraction of oxygen you put in. That's going to be your FiO2. And there's no button for FiO2 on this ventilator. It's right here on the side. Once this oxygen hooks onto the wall, you want all these patients starting off with an FiO2 of 100%. So set it to 100%, and then you want whatever pressure is going to be in when you deliver that oxygen, and that's going to be your peak, positive and expiratory pressure. I like to start mine off at 5. If for some reason you want to start off with more, that is totally okay. But start them off on something you're going to be adjusting that based off of their pulse oximetry or SpO2 up on the monitor you have them up on. And the table you're going to use to adjust that, there's one on here. You can find this on ardsnet.org as well. But your PEEP and your FiO2 are linked, so after 5-10 minutes goes by, they're going to equilibrate. Go ahead and look up if they're clear down at 80%. Go ahead and follow the table. So maybe I'll just try them out at 50% FiO2, which they have is 0.5 in here, and at 50% I can have a PEEP of 8 or a PEEP of 10. So I'll turn that PEEP up to 8. You're going to watch the pulse ox. Wait 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, 30 seconds or a minute. Then they're going to equilibrate. And if they're still low, go ahead and go up. Go up to 60% FiO2, which I can go up to a 10 a PEEP. That's 60%. You accept that. And the doctor can be doing this, the nurse can be doing it, anyone can be doing this. And then if now they're between 90 and 95%, you're good. You come back half hour later, if they're still doing good, great. If they're too high, go ahead and turn them both down. They should always be moved together. So in summary, turn it on, give it 30 seconds, AC, VC, 50%, I'm not 50%, tidal volume based off of ideal body weight, and with their male or female respiratory rate, roughly what they're breathing, probably no lower than 14 or 16, unless they're a strictly COPD patient. Now if they're COPD that has pneumonia, or ARDS, treat the ARDS pneumonia. PEEP, start off at 5, totally fine, and FiO2 at 100, and then you're going to follow the ARDSNet table after that. And that is the basics of turning it on, getting it set up.